Are you frustrated because you think yoga isn't for you? Many people avoid yoga because they think it's just for the ultra flexible or that it's all about stretching. In today's video, I'm debunking the most common myths around yoga that prevent people from practicing. Whether you think you're too old, too thin, or not the yoga type, this video will open your eyes to what yoga is truly about. One common myth that prevents people from starting to practice yoga is this idea that they have to be naturally flexible. Now this, of course, isn't true, and it prevents people from even starting because they think that they have to be able to touch their toes or perform some deep stretch. But the truth about yoga is it's not actually about the yoga pose. Yoga is all about the journey, not the destination. So if our yoga pose was the destination, well, it's not actually about that. It's about what you learn about yourself and your body on the journey toward that pose. Whether or not you ever get to this idealized version of some yoga shape isn't important. And yes, generally along the way, you will increase your flexibility, mobility, and even build strength. So I'm busting this myth right now. You do not need to be flexible to practice yoga. Another common myth about flexibility in particular is that people are born with a certain amount of flexibility, but that's actually not true. Okay, now are some people born more flexible than others? Yes, but it's really about lifestyle choices, because not only can you increase flexibility, but yes, you can decrease your flexibility by doing certain repetitive things like sitting down all day, not moving your body. You can actually decrease your flexibility. And we know this to be true, right? As we start to adult and age, we tend to feel more stiff. That has nothing to do with the amount of flexibility we think we're born with, and everything to do with our lifestyle choices. Now, this is good news, because this means for those of you that feel inflexible or stiff, that you absolutely can increase your flexibility no matter your age. The issue is that people don't really educate themselves on how to increase their flexibility. So they get a couple stretches, maybe off of YouTube, and they do them over and over and over, but they don't see results. This leads to frustration, and then they throw their hands up in the air and generally exclaim, "I'm not flexible." So the key to increasing your flexibility is by utilizing different approaches to stretching, not always doing the same type of stretching in the same way. There are all different kinds of stretching. I have an online course called Activate Your Flexibility, in which I teach more about this and targeted exercises, but there's even plenty of videos that you can find right on my channel that teach you different techniques for stretching. Another misconception about yoga is that it's just poses or a series of different stretches. This also couldn't be further from the truth. Yoga is actually a system designed to give you all the tools you need to live a well-balanced life. This system includes 8 different parts known as the Eightfold Path, and asana or yoga postures is only one of them. So what else does it include? It includes things like ethical guidelines, how to behave, how to think, how to treat other people. It includes breathing techniques, meditation techniques, concentration and focus techniques, and a deep connection to self. So when we practice yoga, we're actually practicing all of these things. And that's where we get this idea or this term of practicing yoga off the mat. When we're on our yoga journey, what we discover is that it's not about the yoga poses at all. It's actually about a deep connection to yourself. There's a quote in the Bhagavad Gita that I think explains it the best, and it says, "Yoga is a journey of the self, through the self, to the self." Another common myth about yoga is that yoga is just for women. It might surprise you to learn that yoga was actually only practiced by men for thousands of years. In fact, it wasn't until modern day yoga that we have our first record of someone female practicing yoga. This is Indra Devi. She was allowed to practice and learn how to teach yoga from the grandfather of yoga, Krishnamacharya, back in 1937. She was actually the one that brought yoga to the West. And when she moved here, she moved to Hollywood, California, and for whatever reason began to teach a lot of A-list actors and women. And so what ended up happening is there was a lot of representation in the West of women practicing yoga. And I really think that this is where this idea got started that yoga is just for women. But I'm busting this myth right now. Yoga is designed for everybody, no matter your gender, age, or body shape. I hope it helps you to know that male athletes such as LeBron James, Kevin Love, Russell Wilson, and Alex Rodriguez have all practiced yoga. Another common myth about yoga is that you need to spend a lot of money on expensive equipment or have a perfect yoga space, but that's not true at all. Again, yoga has been practiced for thousands of years, and for most of the practice, for the posture portion of it, it was taking a seat just like this and actually focusing more on the mind. What this shows us is that yoga can really be practiced anywhere. You don't need any equipment. It's nice to have a yoga mat, but you don't need the most expensive one. All you really need is a little bit of space to be able to move your body. I practiced yoga everywhere. I practiced it while taking a nature walk or going to the beach. I love to practice yoga in bed in the morning or at night. You really can practice yoga anywhere. And remember, because yoga just isn't the poses, you can take that practice off your mat and just focus and practice on being mindful throughout your day. A final myth about yoga, and this one's a little touchy, but I want to bring it up, is that yoga is a religion, or I've even heard people call it like a demonic type of religion. But the truth is that yoga isn't a religion, and here's why. There's no mention of God in any of our classical yoga texts. Yoga is not a religion. It is not a formalized place of worshiping any god or deity. So what is yoga? Yoga really is a practice of self-discipline. It's that journey inward to discover more about yourself. So you can actually practice yoga and be religious in any one of the religions out there. I hope this video shattered some common misconceptions that are out there about yoga. If you love yoga, but you feel some resistance from some people in your life, make sure to share this video with them so they can understand the real benefits of yoga, and maybe you'll even start them on their own yoga journey. I'll see you in the next video.